Good evening. Thanks for coming tonight. And if you look down the schedule, we're going to have um, a confidential meeting uh, shortly. So call the meeting to order. We'll have the pledge to the flag. Then we're going to retire to the conference room. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Will the pledge to the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have a motion to retire to a confidential client. She's running a few minutes behind, but we're going to meet her back in the conference room. We'll come right back out after that. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. So this was termed a confidential conversation, not an executive session, because it was not a personnel issue. Um, the board was seeking legal advice on some um, ideas we have for things we want to cover ongoing. So um, we'll start with and I have to steal this because I lost mine already. Okay, thank you. At this point, I'd like to open the meeting for a public comment session on the proposed local law to allow members of public bodies to participate in meetings via video conference. So at this point, I would invite anyone in the public who has comments. We have put out some copies of that local law. They've been on the website, and notification was put in about a week and a half ago in the Penny Saver, which is our official publication. So again, if anybody has any comments for the board on that local law, it's something we've been discussing for some time. So please step up to the mic if you will. And okay. So I'll take that if there's no public comment on that. So, yeah. Could I have a motion to close the public board meeting, the public session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Got two items here. Next, first of all, any comments relative to the items on the agenda? I welcome the public to speak if you wish on any of the items that are on that agenda. Okay. Next, I'd like to entertain a motion, a resolution to approve the claims against the town.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next one is that in our last workshop, we discussed the agreement with Single Source. And I know that there might have been a few questions that maybe somebody wanted to ask Margaret. And now's the chance to do that relative to that, so we can, it's a setup, Margaret, you know. So if you have any before we move forward on that agreement,
Yeah.
Margaret, please.
Claims against town.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Good evening, Margaret.
Good evening,
Um,
Larry.
Just a few quick questions in reviewing the proposal. I know there's been a lot of work done on the water end of things and some reconciliation and so forth. And looking back at some of the bills, it was kind of split. It was like 5,000 for the general accounting, and then it was 5,000 for work on the water. The proposed agreement, the numbers have been shifted, so it's now 8,000 at the top and
Mhm.
1,500 or something to that effect. What was the reasoning for that?
Well, at the very beginning, we didn't know that water was supposed to be separated out from the regular accounting. So we had to go back and kind of pick out, fix that first of all. And then we have spent some significant time on the allocations for the water for the next year, and also cleaning up what was left over from the past. We feel that we've done a pretty good job on that. So now going forward, it should more be a maintenance issue than go back to the beginning and figure out what happened. So that's why it will be less in 26 than it was in 25. But on the other hand, with the general fund and all the other funds, let's just say, our committed price was $5,600 a month, and we stood by that and took a tremendous loss. So now we're trying to bill you really what it was costing us to do that.
Okay. And I can appreciate that, and I do appreciate all the work that was put in. At the same time, we budgeted a specific amount for accounting, and at that rate, it could potentially be double that amount by the end of the year. So
For last year, you mean? For this year?
for this year.
Oh.
So I know we're looking to move some of these things in-house
Mm-hmm.
to try and take them off your plate. And just curious, in your opinion, how far down the road, and it's maybe difficult to answer, do you feel we'll be back in line with the 5,600 a month range?
At this point, I don't know the answer to that. Um, I see it going in that direction going forward once we get all of our processes s- smoothed out and everybody knows what they're doing and everybody conforms. That will also be very helpful to keeping everything in line.
Are you dealing with stumbling blocks and getting charges properly coded and have to go back and forth and
Well,
question things?
at times we have found that there are inconsistencies in when the invoice is coded from one month to the next month. So, one month it's in this fund, one month it's that fund, or a different account code. That's not our decision as to where to put it. If we notice a big difference, we can certainly bring it to your attention. But when we're going through hundreds of invoices, it's oftentimes hard in the heat of the moment when you're getting them in the system to catch that there was a difference from the last time. So we caught a lot of those things as we were going through for the audit. We found a lot of other things, over the course of the year. So I think that if everyone does what we've asked them to do in our operating procedure that we put out, things should go much smoother. Also, with Diana here now, I think that's making a tremendous difference because she's staying right on top of it. She keeps me on track. And she notices when vouchers are missing and things like that, or she actually let me know that, gee, I sent this over and I don't see it's in here, what happened? And it turns out we couldn't get it, so then she emailed it to me. So there's a lot with that type of cooperation. Things will certainly go in the direction you want them to go.
Okay, I understand from our last workshop I had asked if the budget had been put into QuickBooks,
Yes.
and I was advised that it was.
Yes.
So when you're posting invoices, does that help to populate them quicker? Say you start typing
The
in.
budget doesn't have any interface with the invoices that you put in, but QuickBooks Online gets to recognize what you've done before.
You start
it-
typing and
Mhm.
something pops
Yes.
up. And
And we can make rules, although it's very difficult in this type of accounting system to make rules, because in one place it'll be a due to and due from, and in the other place it's an expense. So that's the other thing that you have to remember. Many of the invoices are getting put into more than one fund. So they all go into the A fund so that they can get paid. But then if it's for the B fund, DA, DB, they go into that other fund as well. And we have to make sure that those due tos and due froms are also staying in line.
okay, that makes sense. I had a question also about vouchers in that process.
Mhm.
It seems to be a bump in the road trying to get those all in time for us to review, before we pay the claims against the
Right.
town. And I was curious as to the verbiage on each line, if that was being copy pasted from an invoice. I mean, how do you decide what what actual text gets put on that voucher
Every
to
time,
describe the fee?
every time we enter the invoice, we put that little description as to what it is right when we're entering it in. So then we use that information from QuickBooks, we run a report, and we use that information that we've already put in. So we're only putting it in, well, twice if it goes in two funds, but we're only putting it in the one time, and we don't have to redo it for the vouchers. We run a report that puts that in.
So are the vouchers a merge system, like a
Mhm.
mail merge or
Hmm.
a form merge?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Okay. All right. That's all I had. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Margaret. I
Yes,
have
Linda?
a question. So if we sign this contract and in 3 months we end up bringing some of the um, AP back in house, right? So when Diana scans it in, she also does the coding there and posts it.
Mhm.
Are we going to have a problem then having you review the bill at that point and start to drop it if
No,
we're
if we
taking
if
stuff
we
back?
find
Okay.
that we're not spending as much time, we're
Yep.
just trying to be more accurate.
Yep.
You know, we thought that it was going to be significantly less time when we originally did this, and we bore the burden of that, and
Mhm.
so now we're just trying to make it um, more in line with what our true costs are.
Okay. I just have one other thing that during the invoices, the processing, I should have brought this up. There's a attorney bill in
Mhm.
there that got coded to the A fund that needs to go to water,
Okay.
and then and that was it, just that one.
Oh.
There's two invoices, the top two, and you'll see them when you look. but-
Okay, that's fine. We can
Yep.
always move that. That's
Yep.
no problem. Am I good to go?
I think you're good to go. Thank you so much.
You are very
And
welcome.
and just my own comment, being here every day and working, and throughout my career, it has it's always good to be working with somebody that's responsive, that knows their job, and is not unwilling to help at any moment when I call, even if it's not at a good time. She, she'll take my call and we'll work through the issues. And we've got a lot of them, and especially in the recent weeks with the audit. We're still working through the time clock issues, which gradually we're getting that resolved, but that's been a big headache. Not that the clock is malfunctioning, but the rules around using it, since it hasn't been part of the punch in, punch out system here for who knows how long, getting everybody back on the system. It's getting there, but it's not without pain and without time. Um, so along those same lines, I've reached out to our HR folks that we hired this last year and beginning them to use them to help us define exactly what parameters uh, need to be in there and what's legal, what's not legal, and how other places are using it. So thank you, Margaret. I do appreciate all your help. I know I certainly couldn't do without it. So thank you. Just the truth. Anyways, can I, if we've have all the answered all the questions, can I entertain a motion to accept the agreement from Single Source?
So move.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now I think you can go. Thank you. As any of you that have been following this board for any period of time recognize that over the last year, there were a lot of questions related to expenses, um, to over expenditures relative to what had been put into the budget. Now, just to understand, that doesn't mean that we're not talking, when you're talking budget, it's hard to understand that doesn't need directly relate to cash. When you set the budget, it's not what's in the bank account, it's what you plan to spend. and the budget is supposed to balance every year. Obviously, with everything that happened last year, there were categories and certain elements of the budget in 2025 that didn't come out the way that it was set up. Linda has taken this project on and has come back. She has, and Linda, I'm going to let you speak to what you worked through on this, if you would, please.
So, based on the financial statements from last year, there were two funds that we overspent the budget on, which means there wasn't enough money in any one line to move around. Sometimes you have one line that's over and another line that's under. You can net those together. But unfortunately, in two funds, we did not have that ability because we just literally overspent the amount that we budgeted for. So in the A fund, we need a resolution to move or to be able to take from the fund balance an extra $89,892.25 to cover the expenses from 2025, and a resolution to take $86,343 from the highway DB fund to cover the overage in that fund.
I think it's important to note that you did this in consultation with.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I should say that. So I spoke with New York State. Normally, you would not leave any one budget line as a negative, but because we had so many that we were off on in those funds, I spoke with the comptroller's office, and she said there's no need to go back and zero out and all the lines, just to have a resolution to take that money from the fund balance in each of those categories, and then that would suffice.
Given that, I'd like a resolution to use $89,892.25 from the general A fund's fund balance to cover the overage spent in 2025 in the A fund. I have a motion, please.
So, so moved.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 I abstain.
Need a resolution to use $86,343.97 from the Highway DB funds fund balance to cover the overage spent in 2025. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
And just as an aside, should I have called for a roll call vote on those? No. Okay. Thank you. Move to the reports. I normally get a highway report, and I see Dale isn't here, and I didn't
Yeah.
get a report. Did you get one? No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Since the last meeting, we have incurred 178 overtime hours. Added up, we have consumed 656.5 hours since the first of the year. For the record, this is way over what had been budgeted, that being 195 hours for 2026. I had requested for 800 hours. We still have possible time till spring, not to mention November and December this year. The men continue to plow and salt, clearing fire hydrants, pushing back snow with the loader and backhoe, and equipment maintenance. 3 burials, mailbox repairs, sign repairs, met with the soil and water on drainage issue, attended a Hemlock Ridge solar meeting in Batavia, sent 3 men to GCC for water school, did our water samples, and a few final reads. Had 2 major house floodings from frozen pipes, one on Hoffman Road assisting the Shelby Fire Department, and one on Fletcher Chapel. Had 2 water main breaks on Saltworks Road. Thank you to the village and the towns of Barry and Ridgeway for your assistance, Everyone did a stellar job under unpleasant conditions. Cleaned up a large fallen tree in Mount Pleasant, fixed water valve markers, picked up dead deer. Was asked by a few board members, yes, there is fluoride in the Niagara water we buy, and the never-ending stacking of e-waste. Thank you, Dale Root, Highway Superintendent.
It was fluoride in which water?
It comes, apparently, it's not, I think that probably, my understanding is that, from what I understand, Royalton does not add it, but it comes from Niagara with the fluoride in it. So that would come through both the Medina, even though Medina doesn't add it and Royalton doesn't add it. Any water they receive would have it.
So they're not adding it at the tank.
That's my
The
understanding. No,
village.
that's correct.
Okay. And then I have another comment related to superintendent, which again, I continue to be displeased that he cannot make a physical presence at the meeting. Just wondering when he begins the schedule of repairing lawns and mailboxes and so forth, and what that process is for having him visit my property and fix all the lawn that's peeled back. Not just me, the public in general.
I think that that's a good question that you can hand to the liaison to the highway, and they can ask him next time they meet.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Planning board couldn't attend tonight. They had a March 3rd meeting. The Internet Tower, corner of Barber Road and Town Line, North Shore Networks. They're discussing apparently being proposed. This is for county-wide internet. Set a public hearing for April 6, 2026 at 6:45 p.m. for the Internet Tower. I would expect that that will probably be a public notice, or would have to be. So if it's something you're interested in, keep an eye in the Penny Saver. I'll make sure it gets on the website also so that you know when that is. They changed their meeting date from April 7th, 2026 to the 6th. Signed Kirk Myhill, Chairman. No report from zoning. I did at the last minute get a report that I didn't get a chance to print from the assessor's office, and so unfortunately I don't have that to read. The clerk has been out. I don't have a, do we have a clerk's report?
Oh, yes.
Here.
As far as decals and certified copies, we have one each for $11.38. We have games of chance licenses for $10 a piece for $40. We sold 19 dog licenses for $132. One miscellaneous sales for $100. Two registrar fees, $10 a piece for $20, and one building permit for $50, and a grand total of $353.38.
I would ask that you would make copies and pass those out to the, or send it via email so everybody has a copy of that, please. Okay. Do we have a resolution to approve the clerk's report?
So move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You each have a copy of the supervisor's report, and so does the public, if there were some up there anyways. Can I have a resolution to approve the supervisor's report?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
hearing, so we can move to resume from the other resolution to pass that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's a good thing I got somebody here to keep track of me. Since we've reviewed and had public comments on the local law to allow members of public bodies of the town of Shelby to participate in meetings via video conference, can I have a motion by resolution to pass that local law?
So
No.
moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I need a roll call? Okay. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Ed,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Larry,
No.
John,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes. Thank you. I'm going to change things up a little bit here and look for any public comments this evening before we start on board comments. If not, we'll change it again a little bit. Can I have a highway report from Ed and Linda?
Yeah, I got one thing. Oh, yeah, we met with Dale on Monday, and just to update on the new truck, the 2026, or, yeah, 25, right? 25. 26. Plows all are mounted, and the only thing they got to do to it is mount the sander. They got to get parts for that, so hopefully they'll have it out here maybe next week. It's supposed to get cold again, so that's all I've got. Thank you.
Just one other thing. So the other thing that we did was we gave Dale a copy of the his budget to actual report, reviewed it with him, let him know that he'd be getting it every month, so that he should kind of keep up on where he is to his budget. The only thing he asked for was that he get a copy of the warrant report for his two funds.
I don't think that's a problem. Uh, Village of Medina. I know there's been a lot of meetings. Larry, do you have any thing there?
Really nothing to report. They got their hands full over there.
Okay.
Can I just say something about the village? So for Shelby residents that live within the village, the budget meetings are starting. So if you want to kind of hear what's being proposed to go into their budgets, you should, go on the village website, check what dates there are. There, I think the week of the 24th, there's a couple meetings. So if you're interested and you want to know what's being requested and what the budget might look like, it might be a good idea to attend those.
No, the meetings are here at Shelby.
No, the budget meetings are for the Village Medina are being held at the Senior Citizen Center, and I believe they start at 6:00. But check the website to be sure, because I'm
Right.
not 100% on that.
Okay. All right. General board comments.
Comment. I'd like to. It's not working. Closer. Got to get a little. Part of it's a kind of thorn in my side for quite a while. The fact that you can run the political party committee and also be an elected officer or an employee of the town and be on this committee, and it kind of goes against the grain of being open and ethical in my mind. I'd like to rework some of this. And I'd like to put this to a resolution to rework it and reword section 15C under political party position. And I'd like to change it to read political party position. No municipal officer or employee may, while serving as an elected or appointed town officer or employee, hold office in a political party, including serving as a committee person. And that's just a small change, but it would be to benefit of the local government, I believe, to do it that way.
On the advice of the attorney, I'm going to recuse myself on this discussion. And John, if you want to lead that discussion from here, have the attorney help you.
Okay, I guess that's part of my job as deputy.
Okay. All yours.
So since the Code of Ethics was adopted by a local law back in 2023, it would need to be amended by a local law. So we could do a resolution to introduce what would now be local law number 2 of 2026. That would basically be the same Code of Ethics policy with the new section 15C that John just read, if the board wants to make that change.
So moved.
Could I get a second?
I'll second.
So I would ask for a roll call vote on this
Yes,
one too.
we should have a roll call vote. Get everybody where everybody stands. Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and Larry.
Yes.
And then you should also decide when you want to hold a public hearing on the local law, and then schedule the public hearing so you can.
I think we'll schedule. We need to schedule it, this public hearing. I think it works good if we have the public hearings before the normal meeting. That would be the next meeting. When is the next meeting here?
Is it April
14th.
April 4th.
April 14th.
Be April 14th, prior to the regular meeting. And then we'd go right into the regular meeting after the public hearing on this.
I will note we didn't publicly recognize that we are moving the meetings back to 6 o'clock. You're welcome.
That's what I was going to say.
Right, we did that. Yep. Okay.
So the public hearing, so you need a resolution to hold a public hearing on local law number 2 to amend the Code of Ethics for 6 p.m. on April 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Probably should do the roll call.
Yeah,
vote
I would
for
do a roll
this.
call vote for this just because.
Ed,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Are we? I think we've wound through all the rest of this meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
And yeah, I just any other board if any other board
Oh, yeah.
members have comments.
Okay. Any other board comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak real quick. The assessor is not here, and Jim said he had a report from her, but didn't have it available. I had asked about it during the workshop. I don't know who may or may not have attended that. Being personally concerned and concerned for the public, how the whole reassessment process was coming. And what I was informed is that she believes they'll be complete and the letter should be out in the mail here by the end of the month. So check your mailbox.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? Okay. I entertain a motion to public. Oh, we did the public. We went out of order and did the public content. Anybody have anything you want to say? Jim.
To the microphone, please.
Just kind of curious, the question with Dale being an elected official, he's never here to represent us taxpayers. Our taxpayers' dollars pay his salary. I'm just a little concerned why he's never here to represent us taxpayers.
You want to take that one?
As an elected official, the board can't direct him to attend. It's his choice to attend or not attend. I think
That's his job.
I think he's been asked to attend.
Well, I think maybe if he doesn't attend, maybe make a resolution to make him resign. And another question I have, I believe he was under a budget of what, $3,500 a month to spend on any things he has to buy. Well, in the January meeting, he went to, I think, George Swede and bought some plow parts. Larry bring it up at the meeting to where he was above his budget of spending, which was not approved by you folks at the board. Being that said, he was supposed to get a 30% discount. The original bill was $7,200. With a 30% discount, he still submitted the same bill at $7,200. That's not 30% to me. I just wonder if you folks ever figured that out, or if he ever had the proper receipt.
Are you gonna text him? Okay.
Yeah, we did. I did find that during review of the bills, and I did address that during that meeting to Dale directly, and he knew what I was speaking of, and said that he would look into it. And I was actually going to get the bill from the meeting room and meet with him after the meeting, but he skirted out the back door, so I didn't have a chance to discuss it with him.
Who's the vendor? Who's the vendor?
The plow parts people out of Ohio, I think it was.
That's the name of it, the plow parts?
No,
Georgia Sweet.
Who?
no, it wasn't. I don't believe. No, it was an out-of-state firm.
Okay.
It was in the January bills, I believe.
Yeah, because the original bill was $7,200. He said they gave him a 30% discount. Well, my math at 30% don't add up to 7,200 on the final balance.
Right.
Just a little curious. Thank you for your time.
We'll have an answer for you at the next meeting.
We've looked at that before. It was just poorly written. Well,
The other question, Jim, just so you know, the other question was, the other half of the question from Mr. Davies was that he had a $3,500 spending limit and that he purchased parts above that without approval from this board, but I believe you had some.
well, those are repair parts that
Yeah.
could only find at a certain location. And while I wasn't happy about it, the parts were for an older truck and they were tough to find. Especially the major part that went bad. That was for Bill Walters' truck. And so I went out and talked to Bill. He showed me what happened. And these trucks, it's not like you can go on a lot of these parts and go to AutoZone or to Napa and get the parts. And sometimes finding them for the older ones becomes difficult. And so he took it upon himself to order it instead of spending the time because it was hard to find. I can only judge by what I'm told. I wasn't the one who shopped for the parts. I do know that finding parts sometimes for these vehicles are specialized. So I just have to go with that conversation. I can't address it any further than that since I didn't actually make the phone calls and try to find it someplace else. So, and like I say, Bill's been in the back, putting it back together. It was a major component of the truck in terms of its use of the urea formulation for the diesel that they use. So, anything else? Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Something like that just means Larry can probably.
Well, that's fine.
It's laying on the bench out there. I walked around my
Yeah.
walk around today. It's laying on the
Yeah.
bench.
Right. But it's an odd part. The problem is when they're trying to repair something like that, to get the truck back on the road, what kind of process are you going to go through?